Hi there, welcome to iHeart K5. Here behind me is Betsy, the K5 Blazer. Wanted to do a little quick video for you guys and give you an introduction to Betsy so you can see what she's made out of. Let's look at her. As you can see, your basic, man I'm close, 1980 K5 Blazer. Got that wonderful flat back paint job, dent in the door, crack in the windshield. Start in the back. It's up front where we're making the big changes this year. Alright, so what we got going on here is off-road design. Now I should also make sure and say that the companies that I'm mentioning, their names are not paying me for any of this. I just want you guys to know where you can get this stuff from. So this is the 4-inch shackle flip. As you can see, it's made out of some serious metal. They provided bolts, nuts, pretty much a lot of what you need, and I really like their stuff because it's mostly just take it apart and bolt it back together. I'm a big fan of bolt-ons. It makes life a little easier, but when it calls for it, I don't mind fabricating stuff up. See, she's got a 2-inch body lift attached to her. Alright, so on the bottom, this is the off-road design shackle. It's got a greasable bolt. And I know my exhaust is hanging. I got one header pulled off right now and the transmission out for a rebuild. And yes, I am using wheel spacers. I think they look cool. Whatever. Alright, this is another off-road design. It is their U-bolt plate. It's got a notch in it here. So that way you can move the center pin. And then down here on the axle I cut the factory mount off. And I think I got that spring mount from Rough Stuff Specialties. I don't know. It's got 3 holes drilled in it and it's extra long. That way you can move the axle whichever direction you please, because you know, when you put an unnecessary lift on, you need more light. You got to pitch your drive shaft angles and whatnot. Alright. Now, a lot of places sell U-bolt, or not U-bolts, but I mean they sell U-bolts too, but shoot dang. Longer brake lines, but we kind of did one of these fancy things with a piece of metal line, and you can't really see it too good up there, but it's held in through the factory hole and piece of metal run down to the rubber hose. Make sure you replace your rubber hose when you do stuff like that. So over here, this is another off-road design thing. It's daggum doohickey to hold the shock mount more better. Now, that's a pretty neat little doohickey. Of course, you got skyjacker shocks for fun. Now the spring is a 4-inch spring. It's Pro Comp spring, and it's 258 pounds an inch or some nonsense like that. You got part number right here. 1311, or no, 13311. There you go. Alright. These, don't mind that. That happens sometimes. There's some steps that I threw together real quick like. They're made out of 1.5" Schedule 40 pipe. No, they're not DOM, but I mean they got enough structural integrity to them. I've bounced them off a few things, and oh, let's see here. These are some pretty much L-shaped brackets. No, I'm not a welder, but I make things work. It's yeah, it's an L-shaped bracket welded to the frame, the piece of pipe connected to it. I got these brackets and a few other brackets here and there from Chassis Unlimited. Oh, down here you got 205. It's all rebuilt on the inside, new bearings, new seals, new shift fork, new shift collar. Got some extra hubs, cross members I put together because I got a doubler. Yep, running half-ton axles with the doubler. And here's the 203 range box. That is the off-road design adapter doohickey. And right here, I took these off this year. That's their shackles for the front and the sway bar disconnect. Oh, let's see. What else you want to know about it? Got a nasty little small block in there. It runs, just not in this video. I live up here in the Rust Belt, so try to keep it indoors in the winter. Now up here in the front, let's see, that is the shackle, 6-inch shackle from DIY 4x, whatever you want to call them. And of course, fancy ass Skyjacker shocks. And another Pro Comp 4-inch rear lift spring. Now, let's see. So overall, I should have about 8 inches of suspension. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like it sits fairly level with this 4-inch spring in the front and the 4-inch spring in the back and the shackle flip. This is their, oh, there you go. That's the bracket from DIY 4x, the B52 kit. That's real neat. I like how he did that. They're really nice people over there. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm old and fat, had to sit down. So, this year's mission is putting on crossover steering. I had to do that. I mean, it's possible to make these springs work with, you know, the regular push-pull factory steering, but after I let the other side drop down, I was going to be breaking off my drag link ball joint, so I went ahead and ordered it. Now, I'm still using a Dana 44 front axle, so I had to get the whole knuckle and everything, and I found a kit off of eBay, and it was about $400, and they provided pretty much everything you need except for the steering box, steering gear, steering box, whatever you want to call it. Now, I like using a sway bar because once your truck gets so big you can't really do a whole lot of NASCAR without having that fancy body roll, and nobody wants to flip their truck over. So, my next video, I'm going to be taking out the off-road design sway bar kit that's supposed to work with crossover steering. Now, here's another off-road design thing. I've been asked a lot about this bumper. It's off-road design bumper. They have one where they have bars that go up and around and back down, but hey, I just went with this. Using the old mile marker winch. I got this winch cheap. It was discontinued, so I only get paid a couple $100 for this thing, but it works great so far. And tell you, this thing right here, this is a dual cooling radiator type setup thing. I don't remember who makes it, but I got it from Summit Racing. I get a lot of stuff from Summit Racing. They're real good. It's I use part of it for the transmission cooler and part of it for power steering cooler. And I'm running ATF in both the power steering and the transmission. So, if they happen to get mixed up on the inside, it shouldn't hurt nothing. Alright. Don't have my piece of DOM cut yet. But here's a steering box. The old two-wheel drive steering box. That bolted right in the same place where the four-wheel drive steering box was. But if you and when you go to do this, there is a difference between brake lines, not brake lines, the power steering lines, and the brake is at about 1980. They go from like a taper fitting to a O-ring fitting, so make sure you're getting the correct one if you do that. Fancy Pippin arm, 4-inch lift spring. Oh, let's see, she's running turbo 400, 203, 205 doubler, Dana 44 front, 12 bolt rear. I got the Yukon shafts. Then those shafts are some serious shafts. I'm running 37s on them, and they take a licking. I'm here to tell you. But not a whole lot. She's a beast. We'll get her out in the springtime. Here we got Grandfather Phil's 1979 Suburban. If you like, I can make him make a video so he can tell you about it. Alright, we'll see you out there.